match. So I think Neeb will be back to his former strength very soon. I think he's still doing really well. I would definitely not call Neeb's position a slump. Just maybe not as dominant as, you know, when he was being at his absolute prime. Whether it was slaying Zergs with Adept, slaying Protoss in Disruptor battles. Or, I feel like, I guess Terran's always been a weak spot, but now there's also more Terrans out there that are really tough matches for him. So, he's got his work cut out for him. Anyway, guys, we are here. We're launching into a show match series. It is a best of 5 down here in the bottom left-hand side. In the blue, the Protoss. It's Hurricane. And his opponent up here in the top right-hand side, in the red, representing Melia Esports, it is Sortof. Swedish Zerg up against Korean Protoss. Both players must be very close at this point, I think, because they're the only two players who stayed in the team house over there in Korea during WESG. Everyone else was competing at WESG or had traveled back to Europe. So they've been over there practicing for the last week alone. That's originally why I contacted these guys, because all the other pros in the house were kind of all away and unavailable. Big shout out to our sponsor, by the way, Cray with a K, who's been sponsoring these show matches. He's basically like, look, there's never competitive content right kind of before bedtime EST. He's like, I want to sponsor some show matches, so I've got some good StarCraft to watch when I'm watching in bed every night, which is just legendary. So Cray with a K sponsored a whole ton of these. I've realized that I've actually scheduled this for the wrong time. Because daylight savings has changed in North America, so they're going to be 1 hour earlier than now in future, if I can get these players in Korea to wake up and play a series at 11 AM, which is always a struggle since some of them have very nocturnal schedules. But we'll see how it goes nonetheless. There will be more of these series to come, and mostly cycling through the players in the Korean team house and some of the players who are living in America as well, just because these are the guys who it's a good time zone for, and we know they're all at peak performance. They're practicing with the best. They're practicing on Korean ladder, so it's good stuff. All right, we are going to see Zerglings coming over here. Going to clear up this probe. Hurricane just going to run away from there. One Adept on the way. Very standard Stargate opening. Even though, guys, the balance patch came through today, there is no tier 1 Zerg drop tech. Players haven't really adjusted their builds yet. They're just doing what they're really good at right now, which is Stargate openings. We're not immediately seeing players swap back to Twilight openings or Archon drops, but I assure you with time we're going to see a lot more of that. Personally, I think I should be going back to Archon drop every game just to mix it up. Mix it up a little bit, you know. Oh my gosh, the Adept dives in, but there's actually more Zerglings waiting. Sortof here was trying to trap this good micro by Hurricane, but even better by Sortof. Gets the wraparound. A great pickup there, and it looks like Sortof's actually going all in. He's only on 18 workers. There's not even a wall off right now. Going in even before Ling Speed's done. This Adept needs to get back to the probe line. The probes are going to be pulled off the line. They're going to try and fight this Hurricane there using some very good micro. He's going to try and get that wall off up. Oh, the Zerglings. If they can get that Adept, it's huge. But great micro here by Hurricane. More Zerglings flooding across. Remember, guys, there's no drop tech, but he's still going to go for it. I mean, this is the last thing you'd expect. Hey, you can't get tier 1 drops, so these Ling all-ins shouldn't be that strong. What does Sortof do? He says, hey, guess what? I'm going to go for it anyway. These Zerglings running around in circles. That Oracle about to run out of energy. The gateway goes down at the front. These probes being pulled. The Zerglings trying to get the wraparound. The Oracle is out of energy. It only got 2 Ling kills, and I think that might just be it. There's too many Zerglings in here. One more Adept. Oh, the shield battery finishes just in time. This Adept's going to be so hard to kill now. That Adept starts to rack up the kills, but there's more Zerglings in the main base. Probes being pulled off the line. Another Oracle is here. Ooh, Oracle turns on its laser beam. It's only got 20 energy right now. It's going to start chasing down these Zerglings, chasing back to that natural. The shield battery still standing strong here. Oh my god, that Adept has 14 kills, guys. The Oracle does only get 6 kills. And there we go. This other Adept pops out, but the first Oracle turns its laser beam back on, kills 1 Zergling before running out of energy. A little bit gun-ho there from Hurricane. And even though a legendary shield battery, that legendary Adept there, did end up going down. I want to see how many kills she had there at the end. I think she got up to 16 or 17. Let's see. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19! 19 kills! And then she died. 19 kill Adept. What a boss. GG, well played though. Sortof comes out of the gate steaming. Nice, quick, hard, firm. All in. Stop describing build orders the way you describe other things, pig. Keep your mind out of the gutter. I'll try. We're gonna tighten up the dirty part of my brain. Thank you very much, Alazam Durai, for the 390-bit cheer. Really appreciate that, friend. Thank you. Core Quad 7. That's a quad core. We got a quad core with a 2-month resub. Much love. Enjoy the bonus processing power. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. All right, so we're going to Catalyst next map, guys. That is Hurricane's pick. It's loser's pick. Sort of won the coin toss at the start, so he picked Blackpink. Went all in on it. I thought it was an odd map choice. Now we see why. Go Zerg. And Hurricane ready. Let's check. Catalyst. An interesting choice for Protoss to pick. Oh, I think he's saying in party, go, go, go. He is. Okay, not in the lobby. No worries. No worries. Here we go, guys. Let's launch directly into map number 2. See how we go. Oh, man. Ryomaru Reaper, you're watching up to 4 AM in Germany. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. Anyone from Europe who's watching, I both do not envy your insomnia, but I do appreciate your viewership. So thank you very much for hanging out with me, guys. Let's launch into map number 2 of this best of 5 series. Up here in the top left-hand side, in the blue, the Protoss player dying to a cheeky all-in that first game. It is Hurricane. And his opponent down in the bottom right-hand side, the red Zerg. It is Sortof. Now, Hurricane might not have realized it was an all-in upon losing the Adept in the main base of Sortof, and part of the reason for that is because he just thinks, oh, you know what, I always commit with my Adept here, small adjustment from the Zerg, build an extra 6 Zerglings, go up to like 8 or 10, get this around, get the kill, get some momentum. Maybe it immediately clicked it was an all-in, but I guess if he did, he didn't realize there was already even more Zerglings on his side of the map hiding, or he would have got that wall up earlier. And if he got that wall up faster and that first Adept held in the wall long enough for him to get a full wall off, he holds that much easier, because that buys enough time for the first Oracle to save up energy. The first Oracle saves up enough energy to turn its laser beam on for a lot longer. It kills a lot more Zerglings as well, because the Zerglings can't run circles. They're stuck attacking that natural wall if they want to break through, which means they have to sit there and tank the Oracle fire, which is where an Oracle goes from, oh, I killed 2 Zerglings and ran around in circles, to, oh, I killed 20 Zerglings, and now my wall is solid, my second Oracle's out, there's 3 Adepts behind it, GG. So it's all about getting the wall up against that sort of play. I'm sure Hurricane's going to be a little bit paranoid about it. We're going to have to see if he makes any adaptations in this game.
Into the highway. Thankfully, koalas are already fucking brain damaged, so this isn't even a problem.
Knows all. Thanks so much for the Twitch Prime sub, friend. Appreciate the support. Real Fast says, what do you do if the Protoss gets a shield battery up when you're doing the Void Array proxy? Oh, when they're doing the Void Array proxy. Oh, so like, do you mean it as aren't you you're a Terran, right, Faz? You need to get out bunkers and as many Vikings as possible and Cyclones. And then I like to sneak 2 Cyclones around and try to go hit their base with those 2 Cyclones. And I have a bunker on my low ground and a bunker on my high ground against that push. If I get pushed back to the high ground, I build like 2-3 bunkers there on the high ground area. And that's a nice way to help defend that. But yeah, it's all about bunkers with Marines in them and microing your Vikings so they never let the Void Rays focus them down. If you stay in range of a Void Ray, it switches on its overcharge, bam. Your shit just dies instantly. So guys, same openings here. We've got a Stargate on the way. Hurricane going for the second Adept, but not chrono boosting it this time around. First Adept did get chrono, though. It's going to be over here very early. And if you take a look, sees the 3rd base, and he's like, okay, are you all in me? Sees a creep tumor. He's like, well, that already is a sign of not being all in. Didn't check the drone count. He wants to check the production. So this is what he wants to see more than anything, is are there drones coming out? That's why you'll see pros check this area. That drone, big tell. If Sortof wanted to really play the mind games, he should have pulled that drone back, hidden it, and then Hurricane still would have been like, oh, I'm not actually sure. I didn't see any drones rally out. But seeing that drone rally tells him that Sortof's droning. Now, cute thing you can do if you're all-inning, when that Adept comes up here, grab 2 drones and just send them to the natural, make it look like they've just popped out of eggs. Sickest way to trick your opponent. It's actually so dirty, and people get pissed off when they die to that. I know I do. I'm like, you friggin' mind gamey smart piece of shit. So you gotta check that out. Try it out if you guys want to be a bit cheesy. Zerg vs Protoss. So thank you very much, CC Jensen with the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate that, dude. Do I know all of your races? Yeah. I mean, obviously, Faz's question is usually based towards PvT. Occasionally, you'll see a Void Ray Shield Battery Proxy in PvP. Very occasionally in PvZ. But usually it's PvT build. And I've played Faz on ladder before, I'm quite sure. Faz, you're like a roughly 5k MMR Terran, if I remember correctly. Obviously, I don't think we've played in a while, so I don't actually know where you are on ladder at the moment. But I'm pretty sure if this is the Faz I'm thinking of, then, yeah. Here we go. Oracle's going to come in. They're going to look for the queens, but there's 3 queens there. That's not a great start to the fight. They do grab 1 drone. Oh! Oh, the meat grinder! 3 drones run in and die. 4, 5, 6. Oh, dude. 6, 7. No, doesn't get the 7th. Oracles have this weird thing where they don't always focus fire properly. They don't shoot at the same time. So only 6 kills. Not bad. Not bad. Following it up with a 6 Adept Pressure. Behind this, a Forge and a Robo on the way. So this is just 6 unupgraded Adepts, but the Oracle's shields are regenning. Both Oracles have energy. Only a tiny bit of actual zapping energy on one of them. Oh, you can't commit to that. You can't commit to that, Hurricane. Yeah, there's too many queens. The Zerglings are actually going to go for it. No, that's way too ambitious from Sortof. He's going to lose every single one of these Zerglings, but does get one of the Oracles. They stood and fought for a little bit too long. This Shade, though, going to be able to find some damage. Nope, he's going to cancel it. Just keep the Adepts alive for now. Immortals and Sentries coming out behind this, as well as the 3rd. Hurricane, of course, very wary of a Roach Speed counterattack. +1 Roach Speed and a Hydroden already down. Sortof's teching up very fast, but that worries me a little bit because Sortof's drone count isn't massive yet, so I'm not sure if it worries me so much as it makes me wonder what he's up to. Normally, you'd want to focus on your minerals a little bit more, get the faster 4th, play the Lurker or the mass drop stage. But this sort of like tech of such a low worker count tells me he might only build a few more workers. He might not even saturate 3 bases or only barely and go for a big Roach Hydra attack. We see Hydra range on the way. That's going to be to start things out. Immortals and Sentries are pretty good versus this. But it kind of depends how greedy Hurricane gets in the follow-up. We've got +1 on the way, more Immortals. Twilight Council is coming down in the behind the natural. The Oracle, still 1 out, as well as a Phoenix. Units lost tab. A little bit better for Hurricane here. That's to be expected, though. Hurricane's taken the later 3rd. It's gone for double Oracle. It's not exactly a style where you're going to end up worse than your opponent in the units lost unless you screw up really badly. Phoenix is going to come through for his scout. He wants to know what's going on, and indeed, this Hydra production of 55 drones. I don't think he spotted those Hydras coming out. Seeing the Hydra Den finished is like, oh yeah, maybe this is a little bit frightening, but actually doesn't tell that much on its own. And Hurricane wanting to posture in the middle of the map, he's got to be careful. Sortof's got a lot of Roach Hydra out, and this is going to be a fierce attack. Now, worst possible scenario is Hurricane steps on creep, has to use all of his force fields and a recall, and then the counterattack just wrecks him. Observer goes down. I mean, he knows there's Hydras out. Hurricane might be aware of what's happening. He's actually up 12 workers already. He's adding more probes. What's his gateway count at? He's got just 6 gateways right now, going up to 8. And that's a lot of... Okay, grabs the Phoenix as well. Was that the Oracle? That was the Phoenix that went down. A ton of Roaches. 11 Roaches, 3 Ravagers, another Ravager on the way. Hydras. Roach, Ravager, Hydra. The Ravagers there to counter the force fields. The Hydras and the Roaches to just add a ton of ranged damage. Hurricane needs sick force fields and sort of immediately reacts with these Biles to break the force fields. Tries to pull these Ravagers back to safety. He wants to engage everything together. Nice Biles. Firing down like artillery on Hurricane's force, and man, Sortof here just pushing in with such an aggressive timing attack. Hurricane's in trouble right now. These sentries starting to fall. This is such a brutal assault here from Sortof. A 55 drone, a Roach Hydra timing attack, focusing down the Immortals, and that's it. Hurricane not quite realizing how brutal this attack was going to be. Gets caught off guard and doesn't quite have the numbers. Just one more Zealot warp in. Might have been able to do it. There just wasn't enough ranged units to really contest Sortof's army. The +1 Roach Ravager Hydra doing a splendid job. More Zerglings rallying in. And a quick 2-0 lead for Sortof. Shit. If Sortof just... Please don't 3-0 Sortof. I really want to cast more games. If he wins a best of 5 show match here and it's over in like 20 minutes, I'm going to be like... $20 for another game, guys? Like, I don't know. We're gonna see. Hurricanes map again. So we get Hurricanes map choice one more time here. And we're gonna see exactly what he picks. Catalyst is like quite an aggressive map. Now he's picking Neon Violet. He's like You want to keep all-inning me, buddy? You want to keep all-inning me? How about we take the map where I get 3 bases for free behind 1 wall in? And if he can win this game, I'm sure Hurricane's going to be going, given some of the fingers. I'm censoring my fingers right now. What the why am I don't know. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen. Hellcat, thanks for the 18-month sub. Your content macro is on point, Pig. GG, well played. Thanks, Hellcat. Appreciate that. It's a 1.5 years, dude. Thank you. Thanks for the long-time support, mate. All right, Zerg. Zerg it up. Go. Good luck. Have fun. Here we go. All right, guys. Let's see if this series can continue or if we can, or if it's going to be over quick. I have an elephant brain like Roddy. I don't know what that means. I'm going to assume it means good things. Six Spinder says, Quick Pig, what's my race? You're Terran. No, Zerg. You're Zerg, Spinder. You're Zerg. Played earlier, didn't we? That was you, yeah? Alright, guys. Let's get that scoreboard up. Unfortunately, down 2 games. 1 game away from losing it all. In the blue, it is Hurricane. He's Hurricane. Down here on the bottom right-hand side, in the red, the Zerg player, representing Amelia Esports. It is Sortof. Alright, Pylon first, and immediately probe scouting. Hurricane, not wasting any time, wants to make sure his opponent's not just going to all-in him. Let's see. Hurricane I normally characterize as a somewhat mid-game focused Protoss. This is more of a late-game focused map. Obviously, you've died to 2 all-ins. It's a generally good map for Protoss. I can totally get behind the choice, but I'm very curious exactly how he's going to choose to play it out. Is he going to mix it up a little bit? Is he going to just go a bit aggressive himself? Are we going to see full late game macro play? I do not know. I wait in anticipation. I guess you can say he's getting rocked like a hurricane. Sure, you never heard that before. Yeah. I mean, honestly, he is gonna walk in like a hurricane. Like a wrecking cane. Wrecking cane? That doesn't even fucking make sense, man. He came in like a hurricane. I'm gonna make some fart noises to go along with the high quality of singing on the stream today. I am musically talented, just in case you guys didn't know. Thought you should. When you need to tell someone you're musically talented, that's how you know it's legit. Because otherwise they wouldn't know. Epsilon, thanks for the 3-month resub. Appreciate that, dude. So not too much to talk about in the early game of Neon Violet. I think this is the best thing, really, for Protoss vs Zerg is this drop change, because people are going to actually start doing different builds than Adept into Stargate Oracle every game. It was always a popular build, but it's going to become less popular, thankfully, especially on the small maps, I think. Of course, we are going to see Stargate once again here. Hurricane's like, dude, I've been doing this every PvZ for 3 months. I'm going to keep doing it till I get my other builds down, alright? Warpgate does start. That is second Adept. He'll start up as well. We're going to see a second chrono. Will we see a second chrono? Can I get one? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. No! No, yes, oh my god, jumps in after the auction's over. Decides to drop the second chrono. Okay, why not? Chronoing the Nexus as well. As soon as the natural Nexus finishes. Very common chrono timing. Good choice there. I like it. I like the moves here from Hurricane, keeping that chrono energy low. Adept here is going to come up. She wants to have a bit of a look around. The Queen's like, get out of my face. Stay away from my kids. The Zerglings here are like keeping an eye on her. They're like, oh, that's a dodgy girl. She's got a fucking laser frisbee cannon. And she's coming forward. She's going to shoot these drones. Good micro here from Hurricane. Oh, sort of. Oh, he does lose a drone. Great little micro battle there. Almost kills the Adept. Adept does just get 1 drone. I think that's actually a totally fine trade on both sides. Like, you keep the Adept alive, you get a drone, not bad. Also, of course, got a lot of vision, saw there weren't Zerglings swapping out, saw it was drones. This gives that safety for Hurricane. Hurricane, he's going to be going for Oracle first. Very underrated. I love Oracle first. Hurricane, of course, does like that. There was like a week where everyone went Phoenix first except Trap. We're actually going to see Hurricane starts the Phoenix, cancels it, starts a second Oracle. Very sexy. Spore Crawler is now on the way in that main base. Cutting it a little bit fine is sort of, but he's got a queen halfway between two bases, so he's got a creep tumor there. The creep is just connected as the Oracle arrives. Both queens move to intercept. Oracle comes in, gets one, gets two. Is going to take a lot of damage, though. Great defense by Sortof. Not bad focus fire, of course. But there we go. Oh, two adepts don't focus fire properly. They do manage to get one drone. A second drone goes down. A third drone goes down. And a fourth. 4 drones going down there, as well as the 2 in the main to the Oracle. And the 1 or 2 earlier? Maybe there was 2 that died to the adept earlier and I wasn't paying attention. Either way, that's 8 workers killed, guys. That's not half bad. Sortof, though, hasn't really overinvested in Zerglings. Only 8 Zerglings. 4 queens, 5th queen on the way, a Roach Warren on the way, and he's just going to continue droning. So I really feel like even though this was a nice move by Hurricane, it doesn't really put him massively ahead or anything like that. It's still a very close game. Now, this is the point where we're going to see Sortof go for the pink eye build. These Zerglings, unfortunately, throwing themselves away a little bit sloppy there. Oh, the Oracles would love to scout the cheeky butthole over here. Now, the butthole is integral to the pink eye build, and he spots it. The revelation goes down. The Nidus Worm has been spotted. Guys, it's 6 seconds till it finishes. It's almost ready. There's an Immortal already out, a shield battery going down. Now, the way this build works is you run your Lings up and you drop your butthole right here on their eye. The Robo is the eye of Protoss. It's where all wisdom and power comes from. If you can fart hard enough in their eye, they will get pink eye and die. That's how this build order works. So the Immortal, notice, it's rallying behind. The whole aim is to try to depower that Robo, but oh my god, the stasis trap is huge! Perfectly timed, freezes all of the queens that pop out, and that is shut down. The only person getting pink eye is Sortof right now. He tries to land his fart hole on Hurricane's face, and it doesn't work out. Hurricane dodges, Sortof ends up farting on himself. Now that one was mistimed. That's not going to stop it. Here comes the next wave. How many units are going to get out? There we go. He's got the transfusers. The transfusers are good. So many roaches do get out of there. A lot of roaches are in the base, but this Immortal's doing well. The probe's being pulled to the front. 2 shield batteries doing wonders down there. The Oracle even turns on its laser beam. Another butthole trying to come out, but the second Robo, he hasn't managed to contract pink eye. Hurricane defending the pink eye push. He's got the second Immortal out, and oh my god, I think he's going to hang on. He's lost a ton of workers, but if he holds on, and he does, the butt entrance of Sortof ends up all fucking hemorrhoided and whatnot. Warp Prism on the way. He's going to do a double Immortal drop counterattack, or potentially just do a ground push with charge. He says, you know what, there's only one thing Zerg does after this push, and that's try to get ahead in the workers. Now, Sortof's doing that. He is up 10 workers. Seems kind of good, right? No, no, no. Archons, Immortals, Prism. Do we have +1? Okay, no +1 for Hurricane, but nonetheless, he's got such better tech and charge on the way. Now, the problem for Hurricane is he's only on 2 base. Problem for Sortof, I think, is Sortof seen the Nexus, but that actually just got cancelled. He spotted the Nexus, it gets cancelled, and Hurricane's going all in. Right now, Sortof's still building drones. He doesn't know what's happening. He has no Zerglings spotting this push come across the map, and he's queuing up even more drones. Oh, Sortof. Only now does he get vision outside the base, and I think he's going to feel his heart sink, because he sees warp-ins coming off those warp gates. He sees no units in the base, and he's immediately like, shit. We are deep in shit creek. It's time to scoop up some poop with your hands, because that's the only way you're getting out of this game, and even then, I think you might just be dead, Sortof. There's too many units coming in. Charge lots, Archons, Immortals. It's not even a scary push. If Sortof realized this was coming, I think he could have stopped it. But, oh man, that's a lot of charge lots, Archons, and Immortals. The third base is forfeit. He's going to have to get those drones out of there. They turn to fight the Zealots for a second. But these Immortals, there's just nothing to kill them. The Guardian Shield Archon Immortal is going to plow through these roaches. The drones up there are getting minced by those Zealots. They're actually fighting them right now. They do end up beating the Zealots for now, but so many of them going down. The Immortals and Archons not being stopped. Sortof. I think if he just committed to more roaches, he could have stopped this huge counter commitment from Hurricane. But thank God Hurricane hangs on, defends the pink eye build, and he says, get fucked, mate. You just farted on your own face. GG's. So that's the pink eye build, guys. For people who... it's been total normal commentary, but whenever I see that build, I lose it. I have to just... I'm like... There's no way to commentate the pink eye build without talking about it in those terms, because that's literally the perfect analogy. It's all about farting on their eye. He defended. Went to the side, turned sort of upside down, sort of ended up farting in his own face, and bam, hangs on. Hangs on. Good counterattack by Hurricane, very decisive. If Sortof didn't lose all of his Zerglings, still had one just sitting outside the base, sees that attack move out, I think he builds more Roaches and Ravages, and actually it's very close from there. Like, Hurricane could still just retake his third in transition and not necessarily be epically behind because he's got better tech, and Sortof's tech sucked. But it was definitely a situation which would have been a lot closer, rather than just bam, you're dead to the counter attack. The pink eye build, it's very good, guys. Laser, I believe, is the one who a lot of people give credit for inventing or at least popularizing that build. A lot of the pros are like even Rogue was like, hey, I saw Laser do this build a lot in practice in his tournament games at IEM, so he started doing it by the end of the tournament. He actually copied it. They're both ready. Zerg up, and good luck, have fun. Sortof keeps forgetting to choose his race, keeps reverting him to Zerg. Good to see this series continue, guys. Let's see if Hurricane can mount the comeback train. Now, Sortof is a player who's gone up 2-0 with sick play, sick series planning, and then has lost from 2-0 or 3-0 up. This has happened a bunch of times in what was the Swedish tournament? The Swedish Esports Championship, Esports SM. A big Swedish tournament. Only Swedish players were allowed in. And he played it against the likes of Thorzane, Zanster, many other guys with like 15, 20k on the line. And many times he got ahead, but he never actually won. He got many, many second places. Or did he win? Maybe he won the last one they had at StarCraft. I'm not sure. I'd need to double check, but I know there was multiple times he got up 2-0 or 3-0, and then it was a reversal. I feel like sometimes he does commit a little bit, a little bit too hard to all-ins when he's ahead. And there's so many near misses with Sortof. He's an incredible player. First came to fame in 2012, making it to the semifinals of the North American Star League. Great Swedish player. Goes all the way back to Brood War. He is Sortof. Hope he can hang on here. He's a mate. We were practice partners back in the day. He taught me quite a bit about StarCraft, actually, when I was coming up as a player. Sortof's been around forever. Very nice guy. Of course, up against him in the top left-hand side, used to be called Tyr. If you guys are old school viewers, you don't really know who Hurricane is, as he is one of these players who is also, I think, a story of a lot of near misses. Known as one of the best practice partners, one of the best Protoss players in Korea, but very rarely performs in GSL. I don't think he's made it to a top 8 ever. Not even sure if he's made it to a top 16 of GSL. Definitely a player who's struggled with performing on LAN, but has the occasional brilliant performance and is known as a really good practice partner. It's Hurricane. So, Sortof going to be going hatch gas pool. We did see 3 guys on gas quite early, or 2 guys, and then the third, which tells us it's probably going to be a Stargate opening again for Hurricane. No surprises there. His probe was running around, stealing some minerals, having a bit of a zap, just kind of checking everything out. I think all the avatars were dancing for the sub before. I'm not sure. Sometimes they all just dance. I think it's meant to happen whenever anyone subs or like donates or whatever, but I don't know. Alright. So, hopefully we can see some varied play. Sortof's been super aggressive this series. The question is, does Sortof have more depth to his play in Zerg vs Protoss right now? Is he uncomfortable playing a standard macro game? Very well could be the case. Thank you, you just got moneyed. Thank you guys, just catching up on chat. You're a really nice man, me and my wife both think so. Thank you, Grey Wolf, thank you. I like your wife, and you too. I think you're both nice people. Nice text characters on my second monitor at the very least. Probably nice people as well. I can't be sure, but I'd wager on it. I'd wager a small fortune. At least 270 I'd wager on it. Got Bronsley Kobo hanging out in chat as well. What? How you doing, mate? Very fast Evo chamber from Sortof, guys. I'd say it's probably going to be a fast +1 melee. Aiming for Zergling, Queen style, for the defense here. Style which not so good against Archon drop, but can be very effective versus Stargate styles. And really was the norm for a long time. Yeah, it's going to be a fast +1 melee. Spore Crawler already finished in the main, and that Oracle is coming across the map. So course, Phoenix is coming out second this time, but actually it's gone right across the map. He hasn't rallied it to these Overlords, and this one's even hiding in the corner, so I think that's meant to be an Overseer Scout later on. Interesting Overlord placements. These ones are a little bit far out here for sort of. And here we go, Oracle going to come in. Ooh, where's the pull away? Where's the pull away? Oh man, he's going to lose 3 drones? Oh, 4 drones. That's a great first snipe on that Oracle. This Queen, slow to the business. What was she doing? She needed to get up there, dude. So, there we go. Phoenix is going to pick up that Overlord. These Adepts, did they get anything? It looks like the Adepts were distracting at the same time as the Oracle. Fantastic move. Hurricane here, even going to snipe off 1, 2, 3 Zerglings, and even going to cancel it. Gets a 4th and says, yeah, back off, bitch. This is my territory. The Adepts looking strong there, and that's a nice start to things. This sort of play from Sort of, I think, balances on a little bit of a nice edge when you go the heavy Zergling Queen. He's actually building a lot of Zerglings, so definitely thinking about trying to deny that 3rd. And since there's no extra Oracle, there's just the 1, that's the defender of the 3rd right there. It's all about that Oracle keeping the 3rd base alive. I think Sort of here is being a little bit gung-ho. His Zerglings are just headbutting. I mean, these Adepts in the middle are trading really well. They're going to kill a lot of Zerglings. That Adept goes down, but 2 Zealots warp in. The Oracle turns on the laser beam. Sort of just going ham right now. I mean, the Oracle's laser energy is running low. I think Hurricane might be overcommitting to defending the 3rd right now. And once that Pulsar Beam energy is out, these Zerglings might find their way in. Are they actually going to go for the natural? This is so YOLO. +1 melee is not quite done yet. Another Zealot just does warp in there. This Zealot's going to get surrounded. The Oracle's out of energy. There's no extra Oracle. It's just Zealots warping in right now. 4 Zealots are going to make their way over. That 3rd is denied for now. And more Zerglings on the way behind. This Sort of is still down 4 workers, guys. This was not free. This does not put Sort of ahead at all. There was no 3rd base down, or if there was, it got cancelled almost immediately. I don't think he actually ever put it down. So I'm pretty sure Hurricane's quite happy. Why? Because he's got the Robo, the Twilight, he's got the charge upgrade, Templar Archives is down, Forge is down. Like, he's just kind of improving his tech and just focusing on defending the 3rd for now. Does have an Archon drop on the other side of the map. These Zerglings running around here, not really finding anything just yet. Oh my god, they're actually going to go for it. The Oracle has to turn on its laser beam. It is going to start to do some damage. Sort of, though, is going to surround these Zealots and take them out. 2 more Zealots warping in. They do have charge now, and here comes the Archon drop. Ooh, the Archon drop's the danger there, but the Queens get a lot of damage on it. That has to pull out. Now, this is so powerful against the Zerglings and Banelings, these Archons. But if the Prism goes down, it'll just get surrounded and they'll die. The Zerglings come back in on the 3rd base. They start to do damage. Sort of is only 1 game away, guys. If he can get rid of this 3rd and then drone behind it, he's already got drones on the way. If he can get rid of this 3rd, it's massive. And I think Hurricane, losing the momentum with this Archon, allowed the Zerglings to go across the map. He took too much damage on that Prism, and that small mistake gets punished hard. The 3rd gets cancelled, and Hurricane gonna have to very slowly retake that 3rd. His Archon drop comes back in, and the Prism goes down. 1 Queen does fall, bit slow on the transfuses there from Sort of, but Hydras and Zerglings gonna clean this up. At least 1 Archon does go down. And dude, this is good for Sort of. He's adding drones, he's adding Hydras, he's already got the movement speed for the Hydras, so could go for a big Hydra assault. Storm starting up for Hurricane. Hurricane's just banking on that as a Hail Mary right now. He's like, look, if I can get Storm up, maybe I can get back in this game, but I think he sees what's going on. He's like, oh crap, here come the Zerglings, and that Phoenix is about to spot the real danger coming, which is the Hydras, who are all sitting at home right now. Okay, they're all actually just chilling at home. Okay, so it's not a big push. Sort of is droning, he's taking a 4th. Yeah, I can get behind it. And the 3rd was delayed so long. Why commit into that? Why not just take the advantage? This is good decision making from Sort of. Good play. Observer here is in full pervert mode. I like to watch things. I like to watch. Of course, the Observer programmed to lick its lips periodically, just so you know it's a complete fucking pervert. Warp Prism is coming down the left-hand side at the same time. We've got an Archon coming in as well here. So a single Archon drop. Is he going to warp in another? He's going to warp in another. So he had to replace this Prism, and he's building another one as well. So Hurricane's going full counterattack mode. These Zerglings going to grab 2 probes, 3 probes. Nice pickups. Good trade. Good trade there for Sort of. Nice harassment. Down here, hasn't really warped in another Archon yet, just focusing on establishing his 3rd. Hurricane's only down 10 workers right now. Oracle comes in and actually gets a very nice stasis trap. A whole bunch of drones trapped inside a glass cage of emotion. Ron Burgundy would be proud. This observer still sees everything. Where the fuck are the overseers? One's in the base, one's down here. That overseer really needs to clear that observer up. Hurricane's getting too much information right now. Sortof does see the main base. He knows it's a pretty standard setup. He's got Zerglings once again looking to attack that left side. They're going to try and deny the 4th base for now. We've got a Warp Prism on the right, warping in Zealots. Archon drop on the left. And it's going to be a counterattack game for Hurricane. I think it's a good choice. Oh my god, finally the pervert goes down. A bunch of Hydralisks clean that up. And Zergling's going to get cleaned up as well. Hurricane's getting back closer to a normal game. He has Storm, and he has 6 High Templar gathering energy. Part of me is wondering right now, sort of, where is the aggression? Where is the next wave? I feel like by the time he finally gets to it, he's invested in so many units and taken a little bit too long to drone. He's up at 78 workers now, but here we go. Double Prism harassment. This is all about buying time. Right now, Hurricane's like, I need a 4th. I need to get up more energy, more Immortals back at home. He's like, if I can just occupy you with the double Prism, this is all going to be okay. The dream will be alive. 1 Prism goes down. Queen's transfusing on the 4th base as well. Beautiful micro. She's going to survive. She lives. This Prism's still up, but behind this, the 4th only just starting. Hurricane's multitasking a little bit lax right here. Is morphing in more Archons on the front. Does have 2 cannons at the 4th. We've got Zerglings in the middle of the map, sort of with so much map control with these packs of Zerglings. +2 melee is only 40 seconds away. A second Evo chamber making +2 range as well. The upgrades are incredibly good for sort of now. No stasis traps, just a few High Templar. Trying to get energy for Storm. Cannons, shield batteries, and Zealots. Main army in the center, cannons, shield batteries, and Storm is over there as well. It's all about Storm to hang on. Archon Zealot drop trying to come back in. Hydras were all over it, and at least initially. And Hurricane here, warping in more Zealots. Nice stasis trap there. Does grab 3 drones. That's something. More Zealots warping in down here. I don't know if Sortof's paying attention because he's busy attacking. Oh my god, we actually just missed a Baneling run by, but it didn't get any damage. He pulled the probes away. Good response by Hurricane. He's coming in here. Nice Storms landing on the army. Of course, sort of a little bit distracted by the counterattack in his 3rd base right now. He's got a great spread, but there might just be too many Storms. Those Storms aren't running out. The Zealots, the Archon, starting to clear through. So many workers are falling here for sort of. His main army's actually retreated. He's been pushed back. Hurricane with a very impressive hold. He lost a lot of mining time on his own 3rd base, but he holds on, and he might even get the snipe on the 3rd. No, good hold. Good hold here by Sortof. Does defend for now. Even pushes through the middle of the map a little bit. Does Hurricane. Hurricane with almost no detection right now. Just the 1 Oracle. No observers. I think Lurkers would be a great choice. But Sortof's playing the older style. Just straight to Broodlords. No Lurkers in sight. And he doesn't really need them. Right now, that 3rd is finally back to mining. Hurricane, during all of that, his workers were sitting there for about a minute not mining. So Hurricane getting a little bit overwhelmed by the APM. No Spork Relay. Oracle comes in, kills a few workers. It's up to 22 worker kills. Does get out. We've only got a tiny squad here, and I think this is Sortof's biggest mistake this game. Only 3 Hydras and a few Zerglings and Banelings. This hatch will die. I feel like Sortof almost feels like he's all in right now, and he's got to break him. He's got the upgrades, +2 range. Still 20 seconds from finishing. I think he's going to try to force the issue before that, though. Doesn't have any Banelings down here. I really feel like Sortof can win the longer game. If he attacks into these 2 defensive positions, I think Hurricane might just have enough to defend. Zealot warp-ins here. They're slow warp-ins. Oh no, they're actually they just felt slow. That was weird. Felt like they took a while. These Zealots here warping in. The Hydras are going to have to back off. Sort of. His drone count has recovered. He's got the 4th. He's got the 5th. Doesn't really have the best gas mining, but this is what I was talking about. Not many units down here. He knows there's only 1 Prism on the map. It's down here. Does barely manage to hang on to this position. That base still dangerously low. We've got Corruptors on the way. Looks like they're going to chase down the Prism before morphing into Broodlords. There's no answer to the Broodlord tech. It's good to see sort of not trying to force the issue too bad. He's going to go for a big attack here. Pre-Broodlord. A little bit of an odd choice, but I guess he just saw the opportunity. He's decided to jump on it. The Lingbane Hydra washing up against those Storms, but there's just not enough meat behind it. The Immortals and Templar are going down. A few of the other Immortals had to be pulled to that northern base. Sort of looks like he's going to crack through with just the Hydras. And a very nice swap here into some aggressive Zergling opening, followed up with very solid Hydra play. Hydra Lingbane are winning the game. He had the Broodlord transition, the Adrenal Glands, the Carapace upgrade on the way. He was getting a fully fledged mid to late game army. But it looks like he's just going to take the fights now. Actually grabs 1, 2, 3 Archons. A ballsy turnaround there. Nice Storm chases off the Hydras, but a good dodge by Sortof as well. And sort of's way up. Hurricane's so far down in the economy. We've even got 2 Broodlords morphing. The token Broodlords. I think the Prism died during all of this. And Hurricane knows it's not really possible at this point. The Zerglings are running in and wrapping around everything. They're +2 melee doing massive work. The Hydras and the Banes coming through from behind. Every unit Hurricane loses is irreplaceable right now. Meanwhile, Sortof has a roaring economy behind this. And I think that's going to be it. I think Sortof's actually going to take the deal 3-1. Hurricane fighting back in that last game, blocked the pink eye build. But Sortof's aggression, really the story of this series. A couple of all-ins, but also some very good +1 melee Zergling rush play there. And I think this game, honestly, if we could find one crucial moment that's more important than anything, it's the Warp Prism with the Archon drop actually taking too much damage on the third. This needed this commitment of units right when you're taking a third. This is Protoss' most fragile moment. It's the moment where most players mess up. And it really needed to distract. I also think those Zealots coming into the open was a little bit of a mistake. I think they should have tried to fight in choke points. But this is it right here. Because he was distracted by that. So he comes in here thinking, alright, let's go counterattack. And there was great positioning and creep from the Queens. So sort of reacts really well. Brings the Queens forward. And Hurricane, even though he's watching it, bam, takes so much damage on this Prism. Comes back in to save the Archons. But he's already taken this damage. He can't risk staying here. Because he doesn't know if the Zerglings are going to wrap around him. And sort of knows this. Sort of pounces. What does he do? Immediately sends all of his Zerglings across the map. And that's actually the crucial number of Lings, which allows him to kill the third base. And that kill on the third is where everything swings in Sortof's favor. Up to this point, Hurricane's up in workers. If Hurricane can just hang on a little bit longer and keep the third alive, Hurricane's in the lead. That third snipe goes down because this Prism overextended. What is there at home to defend? Hydras are starting to pop now, but what if this Archons were here 20, 30 seconds earlier? 4 Queens does not beat 2 Archons and a Prism. It's just that Hurricane couldn't really get that pressure going because he had to wait for the shields to regenerate. That's what took, you know, was the big screw up. I do it all the time, and I get really like, oh! Just reminds you in these high-intensity situations, being very careful with that Prism, and even just doing semi-non-committal pressure with it, where you just show it and kind of come in on the edge, but you don't really go too deep, is often more important because it forces the Zerglings to stay at home rather than YOLOing across the map. And then, of course, ending up losing some of those units as well was really bad. So that kind of compounded the already big problem of losing the third. And from there, sort of just played it really well, macroed up, and from there, GG's. Good games from both sides. I want to congratulate, of course, Sort of takes the 3-1 game. GG, well played. Oh, man.